you don't agree with what she said, right?
Well, her explanation was that she wasn't referring to that policy.
So you buy that.
But here's the thing. If you make fun of somebody because of their disability, I do not agree with that. As a person with a disability, as a person who has family members with a disability, as a person who has taught children with a disability, that is not acceptable. She said that's not what she was doing, and
I didn't even look at her.
and so I know Jasmine, and I believe Jasmine, if that's what she was saying.
Well, I don't know her yet. And so here's how I see it. She's new.
Mm-hmm.
She's young and she's trying to find her way. I think that this party is scrambling, trying to seem tough. And I'm seeing this party traffic in a lot of curse words. That's supposed to be like the new cool thing to do. I don't think that's going to be as useful. I even heard Pete Buttigieg with a whole bunch of curse words. I don't know who gave that memo. I don't think that's very useful. I think you have to be very careful when you're talking about people with disabilities. And I don't think she was careful. And I don't know her enough to say she's not being honest. I'm going to tell you, it sounded bad. And I just want to finish. I think this party is trying to find a way to look tough and to show fight. But this is not the way. I don't think the cursing is going to work. I think I've been on stage and I've gotten a little bit hyped sometimes too. I hope that she will take this as lessons. You talked about learning lessons, that type of stuff. It doesn't sound to me like she's actually taking full responsibility. If that's true, I don't like it, and she can't do that again. She's too important to us to do that again.
What I fear is that no lesson could ever be learned as long as you're doing these things in front of audiences who roar when you do it. When you have comedians who are broad messengers for the left making unfair jokes and people are roaring, when you have politicians being vulgar and saying what's the lesson?
But we're trying.
What's the audience?
What we're trying to deal with is that Trump has done this and he's been successful.
Yeah.
So when you have somebody who does this stuff and they're successful, you start thinking, well, is that the right way? I would like for us to say it's not. But I think it's hard for us to hear Republicans scolding us on it when your guy does it all the time. We are trying to find a way forward. Jasmine is too important to make these kinds of mistakes. I think she has a bright future. I hope that tonight she's looking and says, you know what? I don't have to do that kind of stuff to get an applause line. She's too important for us to make those kind of mistakes.
Hey, John, and her tweet, her not so apology, I would call it. She said she was talking about his policies. Let's look at the policies of Texas Governor Greg Abbott, a state that my parents reside in. 2023, 2024, it was the number one state that most Americans moved to, a Republican state. The second largest economy in the country. It would be the eighth if it were indeed a country itself. The fastest job growth in America right now is out of Texas. That's Republican policies. Those are conservative policies. That's why Republicans maintain leadership in
It's
2024.
also the state
moving forward.
where women don't have the right to bodily autonomy.
Yeah.
A woman literally just died from not
And it's the state with the greatest economic prosperity in this country. Those are good policies. She said she's against.
And don't run over dead women.
Stand by, both of you, for a moment. Any moment, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth speaks as the fallout grows over the intelligence breach.
Tell us about accepting bribes.
The stuff she did that was completely legal destroys the. I'm still not sure that you're repentant.
I have nothing to hide. If he hadn't been such a, he would have gotten away with it.
They would abuse her on television.
It was this unholy combination of overwhelming beyond.
It's not a bribe, it's trading favors.
United States of Scandal with Jake Tapper. Sunday at 9 on CNN.
Psoriatic arthritis symptoms can be unpredictable. One day, your joints hurt.
Next sits on your skin.
I got Cosentix. Feels good to move.
Feel less joint pain, swelling and tenderness, back pain, and clearer skin, and help stop further joint damage with Cosentix. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentix. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur, like tuberculosis or other serious bacterial, fungal, or viral infections. Some are fatal. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions and severe eczema-like skin reactions may occur. Just bust a move. Ask your rheumatologist about Cosentix.
Your record label is taking off, but so is your sound engineer. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Visit Indeed.com/hire.
Ontario, Canada. Stable and secure. When the world around us isn't, you can rely on us for energy to power your growing economy and for critical minerals crucial to new technologies. We're here, right by your side.
Ever feel like a spectator in your own life with chronic migraine? 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more. Botox prevents headache symptoms of chronic migraine. In a survey, 91% of users wish they'd started sooner. So why wait? Talk to your doctor.
Botox effects may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as trouble swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Those with these conditions before injection.
too. Nightcaps, red flag it is. Producer Jamel Hill and my first date red flag. She was talking about from when she was single. So you each have 30 seconds to tell us your red flag. Ashley, by popular demand, you're first.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right. You see what I was doing, being on my phone when I was supposed to be paying attention. Put your phone down. You're not that important. Like, if you have kids, tell me that at the beginning of the date. But like being, so I'm like, okay, then check your. I mean, I guess every 15 minutes, 30 minutes, that's all you really need. Or have a good babysitter. But put your phone down for your date.
Mike, I'm putting my phone down, Ash. I'm not on the phone. But I'm from the South. I'm a bit traditional. I'm conservative in a lot of ways. If a woman, and I'm married now, but if a woman were to say, I can't cook, that's a red flag for me. I would never marry a woman who can't cook. You got to have kids. You got to take care of the kids. I'm going to help. But I expect dinner to be prepared. You can't do that. That's just what I believe. What about shoes, Sir Michael? Shoes on? Off in the bit. It's very traditional.
Okay. I would never date a man who has never been to therapy. People out there like raw dogging their mental health. I don't get it. If you have not worked on yourself ever, no, I don't trust you. I don't think you do.
You get a better chance. Mine is very simple. If they want to watch horror movies, I do not want to be involved with you. No, I do not. I think it's scary and it's gross and it makes me uncomfortable. And no, I do not want to be with you.
You guys are looking at this all wrong. You all are trying to minimize red flags. Let me just give you an alternative theory. More red flags, the better.
What?
I just think that it may be the crazier is better on these first dates. I'm just saying, minimize.
And
You guys, you know what, Scott? That's true. That's true. You guys are looking for perfect, and I think you're letting perfect be the enemy of the crazy. And you want crazy. You're letting perfect be the enemy of the crazy.
Thank you all so much. If everyone's watching, the world will remain single forever. Thank you for watching Newsnight. Laura Coast Live starts now.
This is CNN Breaking News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Coates. So it's looking like the biggest scandal to hit Trump 2.0 now has a name. Signalgate. You probably could have guessed that one. And at any moment, we're expecting one of the key people in that Signal group chat, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, to speak to reporters. We're bringing his remarks live as soon as he starts talking. The administration is trying to spin their way out of the scandal. They're saying it's no big deal that journalist Jeffrey Goldberg got added to a Signal group chat about military plans against Yemen. Take National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. He's actually one who inadvertently added Goldberg to that chat. Now, he admits the whole thing is a mistake, but he says it's all a distraction from Trump's successes. And he isn't really sure how Goldberg actually ended up in his phone in the first place.
I don't know this guy. I don't text him. He wasn't on my phone. And we're going to figure out how this happens.
So you don't know what staffer is responsible for this, right?
Well, look, a staffer wasn't responsible, and look, I take full responsibility. I built the group.
You've never talked to him before, so how's the number on your phone? I mean, I'm not an expert in any of this, but it's just curious. How's the number on your phone?
Well, if you have somebody else's contact, and then somehow it sucked in. It gets sucked in.
Was there someone else supposed to be on the chat that wasn't on the chat that you thought was?
So the person that I thought was on there was never on. It was.
Who was that?
Well, first of all, I'm not. Look, Laura, I take responsibility. I built the group.
I've had this exact conversation with an ex-boyfriend once. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. I was there on the phone. I don't really know. So I'm gonna put it there. It's triggering. I'll keep going for a second. Try to make sense of the entire thing, though. Okay? Because the president himself weighed in a short time ago and gave a little more clarity, if that was clarity, beyond the highly technical terminology of getting sucked in.
What it was, we believe, is somebody that was on the line with permission of somebody that was with Mike Waltz, worked for Mike Waltz at a lower level, had, I guess, Goldberg's number or called through the app. And somehow this guy ended up on the call.
So, a staffer Sounds like Trump and Waltz aren't really on the same page in this story, this complicated one, which frankly is already confusing enough for people, right? But if it weren't enough for you yet, Trump's team is also muddying the waters by essentially triple dog daring Goldberg to release more texts from the chat. How? By denying his claim they discussed classified war plans at all.
The attack was totally successful. This, from what I understand, took place during, and it wasn't classified information. So this was not classified.
And you know all those other people who Goldberg says were in the group? People like Pete Hegseth and Tulsi Gabbard and John Radcliffe. They're singing the same tune.
There were no classified or intelligence equities that were included in that chat at any time.
I was not discussing classified information in this setting.
No classified information.
Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that.
I think you're going to have to say more. If they can't stay on message about how Goldberg got at it, they sure are about what was discussed, right? They're just telling CNN that those are indeed the marching orders. The strategy is to downplay this entire Signalgate group chat and try to discredit the journalists who did the reporting.
I mean, I happen to know the guy's a total sleazebag. The Atlantic is a failed magazine. It does very, very poorly. Nobody gives a damn about it. He found it very boring, and he left early. He got off the line very early. So I can't speak to it other than that. So he's made up a lot of stories, and I think he's basically bad for the country.
So secret that Trump can't stand Goldberg. The journalist has put a lot of reporting that frankly has infuriated the president, but that doesn't make these images any less real. Screenshots publicly released by Goldberg showing texts from the group. He says this one shows the conversation right after the strikes happened. Fist bump and fire emojis and all. And these, well, they show J.D. Vance, the vice president, mind you, and Hegseth debating the merits of carrying out the attack. So clearly this wasn't just some, hey, what are you guys up to this weekend? Text thread. Something serious was going down. And now Goldberg is suggesting that he just might release a few more.
Maybe in the coming days, I'll be able to let you know that, okay, I have a plan to have this material vetted publicly.
With me now is Olin Cano-Young, senior analyst and White House correspondent for the New York Times, Sabrina Singh, former deputy Pentagon press secretary in the Biden administration, and Lance Trover, a Republican strategist and former spokesperson for Doug Burgum's presidential campaign. Glad to have you all here in the edition of It Wasn't Me, Shaggy edition, Signalgate. I'll begin with you, Olin. You have a claim of responsibility by Mike Waltz. Why get that is nice.
No, I don't think it will. You are seeing, for when it comes to the reaction, one from Congress, you're seeing Democrats coalesce around something in terms of going on the offensive, which we haven't seen in the past. You're seeing some Republicans as well talk about how alarming this was. And you're seeing former national security officials also say, look, this isn't just you accidentally add someone to a chat. This is an extraordinary breach of security as well. What you saw from the White House today was a familiar playbook by the Trump administration when it comes to a story or reporting that is causing alarm inside. Belittle the contents of the story and find an opponent, in this case, the journalist, the editor-in-chief of the Atlantic, Jeffrey Goldberg. But in their claim about classified information, it may actually turn out that that really doesn't matter. The law that national security officials cite here is the Espionage Act. That doesn't require classified information. It talks about mishandling information that could undermine national security, right?
And the mishandling being putting it on a forum where somebody else who doesn't have the clearance to see it is seeing it.
That's right. Talking about it outside of, a safe environment like a skiff on a commercial platform, but also adding a journalist to it accidentally. And again, just a reminder here, those screenshots definitely are, encapsulated parts of this conversation. But the reporting in the Atlantic is that 2 hours before this strike against the Houthis, there were sensitive military details also discussed Goldberg did not include that because he said it would put at risk also service members. But good to remind folks that that was reportedly in there as well.
By the way, he hasn't been clear as to why he chose to get out of the group chat. So I'm wondering why he left. They thought maybe they're nosing and you want to keep going there. But I suspect him then releasing information could present some legal vulnerability for him for a number of reasons. We'll see. Sabrina, the president, though, is saying that everyone else was using Signal. We're all doing it. Why don't you, in some respects? Is that standard for the federal government for data like this? It is not. And when I was at the White House, when I was at the Pentagon, I didn't have Signal on my work phone. And so Signal is not a app that should be used by government officials. On our work phones, what we were doing, I mean, you have classified systems and you have unclassified systems. The unclassified systems, phones, emails, those are separate from classified systems. And what is so damaging and harmful in this reporting is that Secretary Hegseth took classified information and moved it into a non-secure format. And even though they're denying that there was classified information in these text threads, anytime there's a military operation, before an operation, if it is true that Secretary Hegseth put the locations, the timing, and the targets in that thread, that is classified. That is an operation. And so what he did was put those fighter pilots at risk. And that does warrant an investigation. Is there any way to get around that truth? If they have done this, and we're looking, by the way, at Secretary Hegseth live, he's in Honolulu. In fact, he's approaching, we're listening.
Great day. Any day you're forward deployed with the troops as Secretary of Defense is a good day. And what we got to see here, starting with PT with Navy SEALs in the morning, which has turned into smoke the SecDef more than it has PT. The opportunity to see what the Marines are doing here, incredible stuff, training space, jungle school for the Army, with the Air Force capabilities, Space Force capabilities, naval lift. It's all here, and it's all a reflection of America's commitment to the Indo-Pacific and the Trump administration's focus on ensuring that we are doing everything we can to deter conflict with the Communist Chinese, who we don't seek conflict with at all. But we will stand strong in deterrence and will posture troops forward. That's why we're going out to Guam, to see our friends in Japan and the Philippines. We're posturing forward, talking and meeting with commanders who have the capabilities that understand the AOL, talking to friends and allies, and that doesn't get any better than watching troops in action, which is humbling and an honor for me. So it's been a great day here, and we look forward to many more ahead on this trip as we institute, sort of live out, try to showcase the pivot that President Trump is putting toward the Indo-Pacific, making sure we're properly focusing and prioritizing where we should on peer adversaries to stand strong and reflect deterrence. Reestablishing deterrence is part of what President Trump has commanded me, compelled me to do, in addition to restoring the warrior ethos and rebuilding our military. Reestablishing deterrence is a big part of why we're here. I'm happy to take a couple of questions.
Secretary, first of all, thanks so much for having me on the trip. That helicopter ride was awesome. I'm sure my colleagues feel the same way. My question's on Taiwan. You mentioned deterrence. Admiral Paparo in his speeches has said that the exercises around Taiwan are not just exercises, but rehearsals for an attack. How concerned are you about China's ability?
We're listening to Secretary Hegseth right now describe his mission, why he is there, talking about showcasing the pivot in the Indo-Pacific region and reestablishing deterrence and restoring the warrior ethos. We'll get back to see his conversation and listen in. I'm hoping that he will, my panel, address the very big elephant here, stateside, of course, and that is the Signal Gate. And Lance, I was asking you before he came out about the idea of this challenge that's posed now. There is a very obvious risk that could be posed if classified documents or information. What is the appropriate way to address this? Is it just to fall on one part and address it, or to try to pivot?
Well, the administration says, as you've noted and everybody's noted, that there is no classified information in there. So I'm taking them at their word. Look, I feel like the Trump White House has done a pretty good job in terms of their handling of this. They acknowledged it out of the gate. They didn't try to hide it. They didn't try to say, oh, it wasn't me or it's fake news, which some people have alleged that they might have tried to do. They have taken responsibility. Mike Waltz was on TV again tonight, many times over, taking responsibility. The president himself took 20 minutes of questions on it today and addressed it straightforward to the American people, which is what he always does. So to me, in terms of a PR playbook here and how you would handle it, I think they've handled it about as well as they possibly could.
Well, then can we see all the documents or information that was shared then if it was nothing? I mean, if it's a nothing burger, I'll bite.
Well, I mean, I didn't say it wasn't classified. I think the text messages and what Secretary Hegseth put in there is classified if what the reporter is describing, that he put in locations, targets, timing. You never, ever discuss that in an unclassified setting, let alone.
Take a look around. You should try it on. Those are selling like hotcakes. Did you find your size?
So, and again, they have said, the president said it himself today, there's going to be a review of what happened in this case. And so, Mike.
Well, I would listen. He's listening to a question. Go ahead.
Using Signal to discuss operations as sensitive as the strikes against the Houthis on a government or a personal phone.
First, all I would say is the strikes against the Houthis that night were devastatingly effective. And I'm incredibly proud of the courage and skill of the troops. And they are ongoing and continue to be devastatingly effective. The last place I would want to be right now is a Houthi in Yemen who wants to disrupt freedom of navigation. So the skill and courage of our troops is on full display. It's a complete opposite approach from the fecklessness of the Biden administration. President Trump said peace through strength will be brought back. Freedom of navigation will return, and that's exactly what we're doing. As I also stated yesterday, nobody's texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about it.
So those same troops that you are proud of, do you regret putting information like the ones you did in the Signal chat that could endanger those same American service members?
Nobody's texting war plans. I know exactly what I'm doing, exactly what we're directing, and I'm really proud of what we accomplished. Successful missions that night and going forward.
So you had a conversation with seniors in the Pecan. So how do you had a conversation with senior officials in the Pecan today and yesterday? And how do you evaluate the importance of the Pecan?
The Pecan is very important. And Admiral Caparo is a fighting admiral. He's a really smart guy.
Towards that moment, Zolan, because this is an important point. He is talking about the effectiveness of the troops, comparing it to what he called the fecklessness of the Biden administration's approach to this, and that he was proud of the troops because the strikes against the Houthis was devastatingly effective, to use his own words. But then he was very particular when he answered the question. Nobody's texting war plans. He did not go into the rest of the information about what else could have been. Is that enough to suggest that the reporting is inaccurate?
I don't think it is. I mean, at this point, he is saying, war plans, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone here, especially someone who's worked for the Defense Department, but I don't think there's one legal term for war plans. He might be using his own discretion to describe what exactly the war plans are in this instance. Look, what Jeffrey Goldberg reported is that there was sensitive details on this military strike sent in this group chat just 2 hours before the strike. I think any person that's reading this would consider that to be plans for a war, right? So he might be using his own discretion there, but at this point, you're right. We have not heard a specific answer and a detailed answer from the Secretary of Defense of
Why were you talking about this just in general on Signal? You know, obviously, what checks were in place to ensure who else was in this channel? Why not talk about this in the space the government creates for these sensitive conversations as well? I don't think that answer will have this story go away.
It is a kind of odd, arose by any other name. It's not a war plan I tweeted, or it's not a war plan that I sent. Okay, maybe it was classified or sensitive information about location or strategy or anything else. Is that under the same umbrella and the point the same?
Look, I go back to and I don't think that, to me, I don't see him playing games here with war plans. I see where we can parse it out. But again, I'm going to take him at his word. We have Mike Walls taking responsibility for this, so we have to take him at his word. So I don't know what other suggestion there is to do, whether it is to release all of the information, but I mean, that's up to the administration, and that to me is what we're going to break, Waldo, is I think that's what the review is all about, and that's what I assume this administration will continue to do.
The thing about the review, too, I believe it's out of the NSC in the White House right now. One test that this creates, too, is, you know, Kash Patel said that he would lead an FBI that would be independent in his confirmation hearings. Pam Bondi saying the same thing. Will we actually see any review from the Justice Department on this, or the FBI? It does create a real test there for that.
And Donald Trump also fired all of the inspector generals, who are also the check on the agencies as well. Details. Everyone, thank you so much. Signalgate reminding people of other national security scandals, myself included, like the former NSA contractor, Reality Winner. Remember that she pleaded guilty to leaking classified information to a reporter, and she was given the longest sentence ever for leaking government secrets, 5 years. And tonight, a lot of people at home are wondering, what is Reality Winner thinking? Well, lucky for us, she joins us now. Reality, thank you for joining us. You have obviously seen many of the comments comparing your case to this group chat. Should the people in this group be held responsible, and how?
So I definitely think that accepting responsibility is an important step, and finding a way to have these conversations that's not on Signal, that's more secure, should definitely be like the first outcome. But as far as any disciplinary or administrative action, I would just prefer that we find more secure ways to, text war plans, as opposed to just going about. Yeah, I don't think anybody needs to resign at this point. I think that we need to not lose our heads over this, because next week it's just going to be something worse anyway.
Resignation is certainly one avenue, but what would consequences would someone like you face if you were in the chat and you were a cabinet member? Should the same penalty apply?
I mean, I think that definitely there would be an administrative route, some type of disciplinary. Obviously, if I were in the military, loss of rank would ensue. But definitely, probably not like criminal charges. No, absolutely not. I'm not looking to increase the strength of the Espionage Act at this point, because that also puts the journalists at risk.
How common is it, Reality, for, say, national security employees more broadly to use an app like Signal?
Well, before I got arrested, I don't think Signal existed, and I still don't use it. So it seems very nonchalant. I mean, you have people like Ratcliffe and Tulsi Gabbard using it. Nobody really seemed to be questioning the use of it. But again, I think that it's very strange that the United States government doesn't have a more secure, encrypted, government-approved text program, so that people in the cabinet can have these conversations in real time without being in a SCIF.
Well, what is the benefit of not using a SCIF or the more secure measures that are in place right now? Why do you think there is a need to have these sort of offline private communications in this way as opposed to normal course of action?
Probably because they don't want to be sitting in a SCIF on Saturday.
So it's convenience then, I guess. I take your point, I understand.
But even it's the way you keep place, you should have the technology. Put the little tech wizards on it, the 22-year-olds that are running the government now. Have them do it.
Point well taken, but lawmakers reality, they've been blasting the administration for using technology, some members. We believe that we're missing, though, the bigger picture here, focusing on the signal use as opposed to the strikes in Yemen itself. Why?
Definitely. So I think that we're going at the sensational stuff. We're talking about the emojis, right? We're not talking about what AUMF are these operations being held under, that wartime actions are taking place without our Congress, who was elected, declaring war. That's not the bigger conversation. And as an American, having bombs dropped under my flag when I didn't vote on it, or I didn't vote, my senator didn't vote on it, is a little more alarming than whether or not they're using Signal or whether or not they're using the thumbs up emoji.
Thank you for bringing it into the conversation. It is a very important point to consider as well. Reality winner, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Still ahead, did the Trump administration mistakenly deport a Venezuelan man because of a soccer tattoo? Well, the man's lawyer said that's exactly what happened, that she claimed she had to prove it. And later, Elon Musk spending millions of bucks in the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. Why? And can Democrats actually use that to their advantage? We'll answer both. This is Noom GLP-1, and this is Angelia.
I really did not know weight gain was going to be an issue through menopause. The Noom program and the meds work hand in hand. I'm Angelia, and I have lost 17 pounds with Noom.
Get started at Noom.com.
America, you love aliens. And now you can get 2 rolls for free. That's right, free. Introducing Alien Tape, the double-sided ultra-strong tape that bonds instantly and holds on tight. Just cut Alien Tape to size, place it where you want it, peel off the back, and it bonds instantly to almost any surface. And when you're done, just give it a twist, and it comes right off. Check this out. Alien Tape works on glass, metal, wood, tile, carpet, and so much more. It sticks instantly to almost anything. Alien Tape's nano grip technology locks into place and holds tight. Alien Tape is great for a quick fix all around the house. Hang outdoor lights with no tools. It's perfect for installing security cameras. Alien Tape instantly locks down rugs and holds them in place so they don't blow away. Just cut Alien Tape to size, peel off the back, place it where you want it. It bonds instantly and locks tight onto almost any surface. And when you're done, just give it a twist and it comes right off. No nails or screws. You'll use it indoors, outdoors, and it even works on stone, brick, and more. And remember, Alien Tape is the double-sided, ultra-strong tape that instantly locks into place and holds on tight. There are hundreds, maybe even thousands of uses for Alien Tape. Now here's your chance to try Alien Tape's TV offer. Call or go online to get your roll of the incredible Alien Tape for the low price of just $19.99 plus shipping and processing. Order today, and you can get 2 additional rolls of Alien Tape absolutely free. That's right, you can get 3 rolls of Alien Tape for one low price. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-594-9461. That's 1-800-594-9461, or go to tryalientape.com. So call 1-800-594-9461. That's 1-800-594-9461, or order online at tryalientape.com.
I got this $1,000 camera for only $41 on DealDash.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
I got this barbecue smoker for $26.
And shipping is always free. Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
Businesses need shipping software that keeps up with their growth. With ShipStation, you can automatically sync inventories and manage returns across all your sales channels. So you fulfill your orders accurately and ship the right products to the right customers. ShipStation makes it easy to manage everything on one platform with the lowest carrier rates, no matter how big you get. Keep your business growing. Go to ShipStation.com to start your free trial today.
I'm Rafael Romo in Atlanta. This is CNN.
Journey into one of Africa's most biodiverse ecosystems. Home to almost half of the world's remaining mountain gorillas.
The gorillas have really transformed Uganda and put Uganda conservation and tourism back on the map.
The conservationists whose passion helped save these apes from extinction to create balance between wildlife and community. Call to Earth, Kings of the Forest, Sunday on CNN.
Deported because of his tattoo. That's what the family and attorney of Venezuelan Jesse Reyes Barrios is claiming. His lawyer said the former pro soccer player and coach fled his home country to the United States-Mexico border in September, where he was detained immediately under the Biden administration. DHS officials claimed that Jesse's tattoo was proof of gang membership. Now, since then, Jesse has been waiting for his asylum appointment while in U.S. custody. According to his lawyer, though, everything changed 10 days ago when relatives lost track of him. Then came the unthinkable. Jesse's aunt recognized her nephew in photos from the notorious prison in El Salvador, where over 200 Venezuelan migrants were recently sent from the United States, deported under the Trump administration, you recall. His attorney said that immigration officials misinterpreted Jesse's soccer tattoo. It shows a crown sitting above a soccer ball with a rosary and the word Dios, which means God. A declaration from Jesse's tattoo artist, obtained from his lawyer, says it was designed to resemble his favorite soccer team, Real Madrid. Jesse's immigration attorney, Lynette Tobin, is here now. Lynette, thank you for joining us. You say that he had an asylum hearing that was scheduled for next month. And how was he on these deportation flights?
Well, that's the question. In this case, Jesse entered the United States. He fled Venezuela for safety to get away from political violence. He entered the U.S. He was given permission to enter so that he could present his asylum case to a judge. And that final hearing was set for April 17th. And then, without notice to me, without notice to his family, he was just deported.
Now, Lynette, DHS has said in a statement that Jesse Reyes Barrios was not only in the United States illegally, but they're saying, quote, he has tattoos that are consistent with those indicating Tren de Aragua gang membership. They say that his own social media indicates he's a member of the vicious Tren de Aragua gang. That all said, DHS intelligence assessments go beyond a single tattoo, and we are confident in our findings. That's their quote in the statement. Now, the U.S. government says he has multiple tattoos connected to the gang. What's your response to that?
Well, they have only accused him of having one tattoo related to the gang. He does have many tattoos, but they are focusing on only one, and that is the soccer ball with the crown. And the DHS position is a crown tattoo is proof of gang membership, period. That's their proof. The second thing they're talking about are these posts on his social media where he's making this hand sign, which they say is also proof of gang membership. But it's also the sign for I love you or for rock and roll. It's a very common hand gesture that appears in a lot of people's social media. It certainly is. Being in the country.
Go ahead.
Yes. And as far as being in the country illegally, that's just not true. He did everything he was supposed to do. He left Venezuela. He went to Mexico, and he went through the process that he was supposed to go through, which is downloading an app called CBP One, Customs and Border Patrol One, and then waiting for an appointment. He waited for 4 months for that appointment. His appointment came up on September 1st, and on that day, he presented himself at the border exactly as he was supposed to. He was interviewed, he told his story, and CBP officials said, we will permit you to enter the country to make your case before an immigration judge. So he did nothing wrong.
And the case he wants to make explains why he needs asylum here. Can you explain why that is?
We don't want to go into those details, so it could endanger his family and endanger him as well, other than to say he fled political violence and was seeking asylum here due to that.
Now, his aunt recognized apparently her nephew in photos from the notorious prison in El Salvador. Have you been able to make contact with him there or anywhere?
No, and as far as I know, no family members and no attorneys have been able to contact any of the 238 people who were deported. They have disappeared.
So what comes next? I mean, what legal recourse, given that appointment and given where he is so far, what legal recourse could he have?
Well, the ACLU has brought a big lawsuit against the government initially to stop these deportations, but now since they occurred anyway in violation of this judge's order, they're doing what they can to get the government to bring them back, to have the court system order the government to bring these people back who were deported without due process rights and in violation of this court order. So, he does have a hearing coming up on April 17th, and I'm hoping that we have him back before that, and he can present his case to the judge. That's all he's asking for, is a chance to make his case to the judge.
Any indication of what the courts will say if he does not appear at that hearing? Is it pushed back indefinitely? Is it thrown out and dismissed in some way? What happens that hearing date?
This is uncharted territory. I've never seen this. I've never had a client who was and then suddenly deported without notice. It's a violation of the law, so that's why it doesn't happen. But here it is happening.
Lynette Tobin, thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Still ahead, a critical first test for Democrats as they look to turn a Wisconsin State Supreme Court race into a referendum on Elon Musk and the millions he is spending in the state. The candidate he wants to stop will be my guest tonight. And later, a very special installment in our Exonerated series. Amanda Knox is with me and opening up in a way you haven't heard before.
You push it, you try to slide it, you even try to hold them shut, but your doors just won't stay closed no matter what. Introducing Ruby Monkey Magnets. Brand new ultra-thin magnetic plates that will keep your doors and drawers shut. And try your last chance to get them at a low price. Just feel to reveal the super strong adhesive. Place the monkey, then the magnet, and close. Installation is that simple, and now you have a door that will stay shut. So forget drawers that won't stay closed. Every drawer stays closed. It's so fast and so easy. Even large sliding doors or cordless window blinds. Everything stays closed with Monkey Magnets. The secret is an ultra-strong industrial magnet that's powerful attraction keeps your doors and drawers securely shut. These magnets are so strong they can hold this hammer that's nearly 5 pounds. Plus they're super thin. They'll fit just about anywhere, and they stay out of sight. Even screw them in for a more permanent solution. Monkey Magnets are perfect for cabinets, dresser drawers, sliding closet doors, accordion doors, and more. Ultra durable metal, so even your outdoor problems are solved in an instant because they're corrosion and rust resistant. Use them anywhere outside the house, even on that stubborn mailbox that won't stay shut. Monkey Magnets can stick anywhere, from drywall to all types of wood frames, metal surfaces, and more. Call or go online now to get 8 sets of Monkey Magnets for only $9.99. Monkey Magnets are guaranteed to last 10 years or your money back. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get Monkey Magnets at this low price. There is a strict limit of 1 full house pack per order while supplies last. So order now to keep all your doors and drawers shut tight with Monkey Magnets.
Call 1-800-481-7214. That's 1-800-481-7214. Call or visit at monkeymagnets.com. So call 1-800-481-7214 now.
Did the re-election of Donald Trump play any role in your decision to resign? Why do you need to study it? It sounds like the facts are on your finger. Great question.
There really is much more that unites us than that which divides us. Watch The Lead weekdays on CNN.
That was another controlled explosion on the ground.
On the ground.
Important stories of our time. Now, I share them with you.
A very warm welcome to the show, everyone.
Isa Suarez tonight, weekdays on CNN.
I'm Mike Valerio, across the river from North Korea.
We've also extended an invitation to Judge Crawford's challenger, Judge Brad Schimmel, to join us. That invitation still stands. Up next, she became a household name for all the wrong reasons. Now, nearly 20 years after her wrongful conviction for murder, Amanda Knox is ready to open up. From rage to redemption to the healing relationships that she's now made, including her bond with Monica Lewinsky. Amanda Knox shares it all with me next. 4 liberals and 3 conservatives. And Judge Crawford is with me now. Judge, thank you for joining us. As we've mentioned, Democrats are placing an incredible amount of attention and focus on your race, so are Republicans, frankly. How are you feeling about your chances?
Well, I'm feeling really confident. We are crisscrossing the state for the next week, visiting communities all over the state of Wisconsin, talking to a lot of voters. And there's just a lot of energy and enthusiasm among my supporters, so we're feeling really strong.
Nationally, Democrats turning this into a bit of a referendum on an unelected official, Elon Musk. Has his influence impacted the race at all?
Well, he has spent now over $20 million on this race, and that has a significant impact on a race like this. It's just unprecedented in Wisconsin for one person to spend that much on a judicial race.
There are others, though, who poured millions or poured a lot of money into the race. And you have people like Democrat donors Michael Bloomberg, you've got Governor J.B. Pritzker. How do their contributions compare to what Elon Musk has contributed?
A fraction. I think that the largest contribution that has been received on my side of the table, and these are contributions made to the Wisconsin Democratic Party, are $1 million top. So it's just dwarfed by what Elon Musk is doing. He's really kind of taken over the campaign of Brad Schimmel. He's doing TV ads, he's doing mailers, he's got paid canvassers going door to door in Wisconsin. He's really the one spending all the money at this point.
Why do you think he cares so much about this race?
Well, I think there's 2 theories. One is that he wants influence over the Wisconsin judiciary. He wants access. Tesla actually filed a lawsuit against the state of Wisconsin just a few days before Elon Musk started taking interest, started tweeting about this race. And that case is moving through the Wisconsin state courts right now. I think maybe Elon Musk is using this as a test case to see if he can buy a state court judge who he can have some influence over. He's also made it clear from the mailers and the flyers that he is sending around door to door that he, as those flyers say, wants to protect the Trump agenda, and he believes Brad Schimmel is the guy to do that for him.
He's also seeking to rally support for the impeachment of judges, I'm sure you've heard, who rule against the Trump administration, going as far as offering voters in your state $100 to sign a petition against what he calls activist judges. How are you navigating this anti-judge rhetoric you've been hearing about?
Yeah, well, I think that petition is just a naked attempt to get data from voters and then attempt to turn them out. So that's what that's all about, buying votes. We just have to do what we can to reach voters and help them to understand that we don't want somebody like Elon Musk coming in from outside and buying a state judicial election in Wisconsin. The Wisconsin Supreme Court needs to be about protecting the people of Wisconsin and not about Elon Musk.
What's most at stake, Judge, should your opponent win this race?
Yeah, well, a lot of things, honestly. He's got really strident views about women's reproductive health services. He believes that their freedom to choose reproductive health services. So there's an 1849 law in Wisconsin that would criminalize just about all abortions in the state. Brad Schimmel, my opponent, has said that he thinks there's nothing wrong with that law in his own words. So that would give Wisconsin an abortion ban similar to the state of Texas if he were elected. He also said that he believes that Donald Trump was screwed over by the Wisconsin Supreme Court in 2020 when that court, which had a conservative majority at that time, failed to throw out the election results in Wisconsin. Donald Trump was trying to get over 200,000 ballots thrown out in Wisconsin. Gretchen thinks that was a ripoff for Donald Trump. So our democracy is at stake.
Well, Judge, the stakes are high. I know why the interest is too now. Judge Susan Crawford, thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Laura. It was a pleasure to be on.
We've also extended an invitation to Judge Crawford's challenger, Judge Brad Schimmel, to join us. That invitation still stands. Up next, she became a household name for all the wrong reasons. Now, nearly 20 years after her wrongful conviction for murder, Amanda Knox is ready to open up. From rage to redemption, the healing relationship that she's now made, including her bond with Monica Lewinsky. Amanda Knox shares it all with me next.
When I mentor young girls, the biggest piece of advice I give them is don't be afraid. People might say that girls don't belong, you're too weak, too delicate, always from your life. You have nothing to lose if you're doing it from the heart. And you'll choose to lead as big as possible.
Huh. You has GLP-1 meds now?
Yes, Noom combines medication with healthy habits so you can lose the weight and keep it off.
Yeah. GLP-1s starting at $149. That's Noom smart. Noom, the smart way to lose weight.
America, you love alien tape. And now you can get 2 rolls for free. That's right, free. Introducing Alien Tape, the double-sided ultra-strong tape that bonds instantly and holds on tight. Just cut Alien Tape to size, place it where you want it, peel off the back, and it bonds instantly to almost any surface. And when you're done, just give it a twist, and it comes right off. Check this out. Alien Tape works on glass, metal, wood, tile, carbon, and so much more. It sticks instantly to almost anything. Alien Tape's nano grip technology locks into place and holds up. Alien Tape is great for a quick fix all around the house. Hang outdoor lights with no tools. It's perfect for installing security cameras. Alien Tape instantly locks down ropes and holds them in place so they don't blow away. Just cut Alien Tape to size, peel off the back, place it where you want it. It bonds instantly and locks tight onto almost any surface. And when you're done, just give it a twist and it comes right off. No nails or screws. You'll use it indoors, outdoors, and it even works on stone, brick, and board. And remember, Alien Tape is the double-sided, ultra-strong tape that instantly locks into place and holds on tight. There are hundreds, maybe even thousands of uses for Alien Tape. Now here's your chance to try Alien Tape from TV offer.
Call or go online to get your roll of the incredible Alien Tape for the low price of just $19.99 plus shipping and processing. Order today, and you can get 2 additional rolls of Alien Tape absolutely free. That's right, you can get 3 rolls of Alien Tape for one low price. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-594-9461. That's 1-800-594-9461, or go to tryalientape.com. So call 1-800-594-9461. That's 1-800-594-9461, or order online at tryalientape.com.
I got this $1,000 camera for only $41 on DealDash. DealDash.com. Online auction since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
I got this barbecue smoker for $26.
And shipping is always free. Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
Businesses start small, but a lot of them take off. As your business grows, ShipStation grows with you, so you can sync and manage all your orders, no matter how big you get. ShipStation's custom automations maximize your team's time. Plus, you get more carrier options at the lowest possible rates. Keep your business growing. Head to ShipStation.com to start your free trial today.
It isn't talked about much, but that's what my podcast is all about. Join me and my guests for a new season with new conversations about loss, life, and love.
all there is with Anderson Cooper. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Mark Stewart in Beijing, and this is CNN.
It's the court case that captivated the entire globe. Amanda Knox, a student from Seattle, wrongfully accused of murder. Her roommate, Meredith Kircher, found dead in the home they shared while studying abroad in Italy. Knox was convicted, acquitted, convicted again, and finally acquitted. The nearly 2-decade-long legal saga for Amanda Knox is still ongoing. Recently, Italy's highest court upheld a slander conviction against her for pointing the finger at an innocent man. Knox maintains Italian police coerced the confession after hours of brutal interrogation. Another man was ultimately convicted of murdering Meredith Kircher. Along the way, the public's fascination with Amanda Knox only grew. From the lurid nickname Foxy Knoxy splashed across tabloids, the flood of documentaries and podcasts about her case. Plenty of people have told her story. This night, she's telling her story on her terms, opening up about life in prison, how she kept her hope alive during her darkest hours, and the unlikely friendships that she has made along the way. It's all in her new book, Free, My Search for Meaning. And I talked to her about what freedom means to her now. Amanda, I'm so glad you're here. I have to tell you, when I first heard about this new book, I wondered how transferable it would be for you to tell a story about finding one's identity, being a public figure, and having these notions relate to other people. But then I read it, and I had to tell you, I was really taken aback by how poignant it is. Why did you want to write this one? Great question, because it's a very different book than my last book, right? Which was very much written in the spirit of lots of people have been authoring this horrible experience about me. I'm going to tell it from my perspective, but it was certainly a story of something that happened to me, and it wasn't a story about something that I did or that really spoke to who I was. And what I discovered over the course of living this book and then writing this book was realizing that I was not alone because I had experienced some extreme, crazy story. In fact, I had lived a very human drama.
Where is he at? Is it what? Yeah, this is Mike now.
How can I help you?
What you carrying lately? All right, let's talk. Stay strapped.
Here's the US President's assessment on the progress being made so far.
We've made a lot of progress on two fronts, on both sections that we call them sections, but they're much more than that. Russia, Ukraine, and also the Middle East. And we'll see what happens. We're in deep discussions with Russia and Ukraine. and I would say it's going well.
It's a pretty low bar for going well, it seems, because, Russia has a list of conditions before even recommitting to this grain deal, which is entirely in its own best interest. At the same time, Washington has promised to do all the heavy lifting here in reestablishing global trade ties for Russian exports.
Yeah, this isn't really a deal about Ukraine. It is Russia reopening its markets, right? It's Russia using the United States to build out its economic structure again and reconnect it in all of these ways. It's not about Ukraine getting its agricultural products out. It's about Russia competing with Ukraine and getting those agricultural products out and around sanctions. It's really quite stunning how one-sided this is.
Yeah, and the Ukrainian president, very delicately and with a great deal of understanding, pointed out the elephant in the room with this deal.
It doesn't say in the statement what happens if someone violates the agreements. I understand why, because the American side really wanted all this not to fall apart. These are the first agreements. They don't want them to fall apart. That is why they did not want to go into too many details.
Putin doesn't keep agreements even with enforcement mechanisms. But this just seems to be another example of how far the U.S. is willing to go just to keep Russia happy.
Well, again, if you look at what he's negotiating right now, he's negotiating for things that he wants, right? He's going to get economic access. He'll sell more ag products on the world market. And what's he being asked to do in return? He's being asked to basically wage a war that's not being waged in the Black Sea right now. And further, it's to Russia's benefit to have a ceasefire in the Black Sea more than it is to Ukraine's, because Ukraine is the side, at least in this theater of the war, that threatens Russia more than the other way around, right? Most of the Russian Black Sea fleet is on the bottom of the Black Sea right now in ports of Sevastopol, or has been moved away from Ukraine because the Ukrainians have been so successful. So this is really stopping Ukraine from hurting Russia, not the other way around.
And I guess the point that some U.S. officials may make here is that this is still early days. These negotiations are, still yet are ongoing in many ways. Is there likely to be anything in these agreements which would benefit Ukraine?
Well, if Ukraine can get to a point to stop the fighting on better terms, right, then that's to Ukraine's benefit. I think Zelensky truly wants to do that. He's not trying to continue the fight. He's only trying to continue the fight right now because the terms are so bad. So if he can get those terms back around, he has good reason to agree to a ceasefire.
Well, we also heard from the chairman of Russia's second biggest bank. He told CNN, with Donald Trump in the White House, relations between the United States and Russia could begin to improve. It'll take time. As for Western businesses, which fled Russia because of international sanctions over Moscow's invasion of Ukraine, this is what he had to say. Listen to this.
Well, I think we've got already a Russian demand, so I'm not sure whether we very much need McDonald's anymore. But no, I expect that there will be a process of coming back, though Mr. Putin recently said that it should be price to pay, particularly for those companies who left Russia abruptly and damaged the Russian economy. But I think the process of normalization will take some time.
Yeah, there will be a price to be paid from Putin. I mean, what, chutzpah, arrogance, playing a winning hand, whatever you call it. Right now, Putin doesn't seem to be taking a backward step. And at this point, why would he?
I think Putin in this way is a lot like President Trump. He's speaking to his domestic audience, right? He's being tough for their ears more than he is for us. Look, there's not a lot of U.S. investment in the broader Russian economy except in oil and gas. And those companies are going to come back in, and they're not going to have to pay a price because it's far more beneficial for Putin to have them in than to keep them out. So I really think that's mostly a bluster and empty threat.
Matthew Smith, good to see you. Matthew Smith there in New Haven. Thanks. Now, the ever-changing, continually evolving, often contradictory explanations for why senior Trump administration officials were discussing plans for military strikes on Yemen on a free, open-source, non-government messaging app called Signal. The directors of the CIA and National Intelligence appeared before the Senate Intelligence Committee Tuesday. After an initial reluctance to even concede the group chat actually happened, both officials then struggled to recall specific details about the chat. And yet, despite their hazy memories, they were certain no classified information was discussed. And then they threw the Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, under the bus, saying he's ultimately responsible for deciding if the information is classified or not. As for Secretary Hegseth, he continues to insist war plans were not discussed, despite extensive reporting to the contrary by the editor of The Atlantic magazine, who is mistakenly included in the chat.
Nobody's texting more plans. I know exactly what I'm doing, exactly what we're directing, and I'm really proud of what we accomplished. Successful missions that night and going forward.
Meantime, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz says he is to blame for adding the Atlantic's Jeffrey Goldberg to the group.
Look, a staffer wasn't responsible, and look, I take full responsibility. Have you ever had somebody's contact that shows their name, and then you have somebody else's number there? I never make those mistakes. Right? You got somebody else's number on someone else's contact. So of course I didn't see this loser in the group.
President Trump says Waltz has no reason to apologize, blaming a low-level staffer for the mix-up.
What it was, we believe, is somebody that was on the line with permission of somebody that was with Mike Waltz, worked for Mike Waltz at a lower level, had, I guess, Goldberg's number, or called through the app, and somehow this guy ended up on the call.
CNN's Jeff Zeleny has the very latest now, reporting in from the White House.
President Trump and White House advisors worked feverishly throughout the day on Tuesday to contain the political fallout from really a rising scandal over a breach in national security. But the president, addressing reporters on Tuesday, said no classified information was contained in those messages.
There was no classified information, as I understand it. They used a app, if you want to call it an app, that a lot of people use, a lot of people in government use, a lot of people in the media use.
As questions were swirling about the fate of National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, the president invited Waltz to sit with him in the cabinet room of the White House on Tuesday afternoon. He said Waltz has nothing to apologize for. However, he did say that lessons should be learned from this. And one of the lessons, he believes, is to not have such conversations on encrypted messaging systems like a Signal. But it remains an open question what else there could be out there. Jeffrey Goldberg at The Atlantic was the subject of a deep and withering criticism from the White House that the president simply was trying to blame the messenger. It's a familiar page out of the Trump playbook. There is no doubt about it. But Goldberg says he does have other messages and he indeed saw classified information. So the bottom line to all of this is if Congress decides to pursue this, if an investigation does continue, that could unravel more of this. But for now, at least, the White House believes they contained at least the political fallout. The question is if it's the national security fallout. Jeff Zeleny, CNN, the White House.
This leaked group chat is further proof, if any was needed, of the Trump administration's disdain for Europe and almost contempt for its reliance on U.S. security. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says longtime U.S. allies are freeloading, adding it's pathetic. In response, European leaders said they must take more responsibility for their own defense and stop relying so heavily on the United States.
How do you make sure that America stays engaged in European and transatlantic security? And that you need to work on by making NATO as appealing as possible and making the alternative cost of staying out of NATO too high. And I think that's what the American administration is trying to do. And I think they're actually doing the right thing. Europeans do need to take more responsibility for their own defense and their own security.
The American situation is one more reason as to why we have to contemplate that we need a strong, confident Europe which takes its own part and secures peace in Europe strategically by itself.
More details out with CNN's Claire Sebastian.
So Europe already knew that the Trump administration no longer wanted to pick up the tab for its security. President Trump has made that quite clear. But the Signal chat delivers the message again. The highest echelon of the U.S. government felt it. Take Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's comment on how he shared Vice President Vance's loathing of European freeloading, calling it, quote, pathetic in bloc capitals. Well, it's hard to find a European official who doesn't broadly agree that Europe needs to do more to fund its defense. We hear this a lot when it comes to Ukraine. But for those European countries that have not sat on the fence when it comes to tackling the Houthis, this was still jarring. The UK, along with the Netherlands, participated in strikes directed by the Biden administration last year And the UK actually provided air-to-air refueling for the very strikes discussed in this chat. Add to that the comments which the Atlantic's Jeffrey Goldberg deduced came from Stephen Miller, Trump's Homeland Security advisor, about extracting an economic gain from the Europeans for these strikes. But they believe, of course, that Europe also benefits. For that, more evidence the administration sees its alliances as transactional and not built on shared values. Well, this also raises, of course, practical concerns around the safety of sharing intelligence with the US. Here in the UK, part of the Five Eyes alliance, of course, the Prime Minister's spokesperson said they're still confident they can share intelligence with the US, but they felt the need to make it clear that there are, of course, strict rules and limitations to secure communication. The head of the official party called for an urgent review of intelligence sharing with the US. The European leaders, for now, seem to be holding their nerve on this, but it is another test for the transatlantic alliance they're trying to preserve. Former Belgian Prime Minister and MEP today calling it a wake-up call. That's back to CNN, London.
Coming up here on CNN, thousands of firefighters trying to control deadly wildfires across parts of South Korea. Very latest on their progress in this.
So you sitting right now, it could be harming your health. Back pain, stress, and serious health risks can build up from sitting too long. But motion changes everything. Introducing Ready Rocker with its patented perfect design that supports your spine as it helps improve posture, relieve back pain, boost circulation, and release endorphins for your overall well-being, no matter where you are. Lightweight, portable, and covered in memory foam, Ready Rocker instantly transforms any chair or space into a healthier sitting experience.
Sitting too long isn't just uncomfortable, it's unhealthy. With Ready Rocker, we make sitting a healthier experience for people of all ages.
Soothing babies, helping with posture, back pain, and stress, we discovered that rocking can truly improve lives. Sitting is the new smoking. The sedentary lifestyle, whether you're sitting at a desk or in a vehicle all day, is not good for the body to stay in that same position. That's why the Ready Rocker is so effective. The rocking motion instantly keeps you active and helps you ease pain, reduces stress. It actually releases endorphins in the brain. It's a mood booster.
I used to be in pain all the time. With Ready Rocker, I felt relief and I'm in a better mood. I take it everywhere.
I can literally feel the stress being taken off my joints while walking. My back stopped hurting, my arthritis felt better. It's just wonderful. Now you can join the movement that's changing lives and helping thousands find relief. Call now or go online to get 35% off your purchase. We'll even ship it for free. Plus, you'll get this bonus seat cushion.
Ready Rocker is changing lives one rock at a time.
Now it's your turn to experience the relief for yourself.
Call 1-800-591-8973 or go to GetReadyRocker.com. That's 1-800-591-8973 or go to GetReadyRocker.com. Call now.
Messes happen every day in every way, but who wants to drag out that bulky vacuum? Hey folks, Joe Fowler here with my favorite cleaning partner, the Duck, a super compact vac with ultra powerful suction. This is a small but mighty Duck, making it quick and easy to clean up any mess. Just duck it up. The compact design can reach the tightest places. It's smaller than a water bottle. Oh, look at this. It even fits inside my pocket. So store it in any drawer where it's always at your fingertips. Plus, it dumps out with ease, so it's ready to clean again.
I used to have to drag out this huge thing they call a portable vacuum cleaner. Now I keep the Duck in my kitchen drawer and I clean up messes in 2 seconds.
The turbocharged motor is engineered to create a powerful vortex of suction, while the HEPA filter helps remove dust and allergens. Let's prove the power of the Duck. I attach it to the hose. It's going to pull the water right up through the tube. Clean up the mess in the kitchen, the spill on the sofa, even the sawdust and screws in the workshop. Plus, it's rechargeable. Got messy pets? Duck powerfully picks up pet hair from anywhere. You can even store it in your glove box for the ultimate car vac. Clean seats, the floor, and deep into those hard-to-reach places. I promise the Duck will change the way you clean.
Get the horsepower duck and bag for just $39.99. Order right now and we'll upgrade you to the Duck Pro package. A $30 value, yours free. You get the bendable tube to get under appliances, the crevice nozzle to reach into those flags and crevices, and the brush nozzle to vacuum with no scratches. You'll get the duck with all the deluxe attachments, but supplies aren't limited, so there's a strict limit of 3 per order. This may be your last chance to get yours at this low, low price. So don't delay. Duck it up today.
Call 1-800-908-1581 or visit duckback.com. Call 1-800-908-1581 or visit duckback.com. Order now.
Tracy is about to have her best day ever on the runway. Her strut turns into a stumble. Her pumpkin pet insurance plan covers up to 90% of eligible vet bills. Get a plan like Gracie's at pumpkin.care.
I'm Will Ripley in Taipei, Taiwan, and this is CNN.
The worst wildfires in decades are sweeping across South Korea, claiming at least 18 lives since Friday. A televised address to the nation, acting President Han Duck-soo says all available resources will be used to contain the fires in the country's southeast. Thousands of firefighters, more than 100 helicopters have been deployed, so too the South Korean military, as well as US forces, to battle these fires, which are being driven by strong, gusty winds. Live to Seoul now, CNN's Mike Valerio standing by. So, Mike, explain why these fires have been so destructive, and what's the plan moving forward over the next couple of days?
Well, it's dry, windy weather that started on Saturday, John, but I got to tell you, a few seconds before we came on the air, we were able to confirm we have a helicopter crash, a crash with firefighters on board in one of the epicenters of this disaster area. So, John, no word on casualty figures as of yet, but we do have an unimaginable storyline that's being added to this cultural devastation storyline of firefighters who are risking their lives for some of the worst fires that have gripped this nation in decades, who are now dead. So we're going to be keeping our eye on that, trying to get more figures and details confirmed on what exactly has happened here. But in terms of the cultural devastation, you're right. We're talking about a temple complex built in the year 681, the Gongsa Temple, that has been lost so far. The good news, if there is any, at least from that tributary of what we're talking about here, is that firefighters and monks anticipated that the flames could get bad enough when this started on Saturday, and they moved many of the temple's treasures out of that building. But in terms of how we got here, when spring very much arrived from Seoul to Busan throughout this country on Saturday, that's when dry, very warm conditions fanned the flames. We have 2 major wildfires at this moment. North and South Gyeongsang province is where we're talking about here. And if you think of South Korea as kind of like the palm of your hand, we're talking about the bottom right-hand corner of the palm of your hand where these fires are right now. And this transition, John, from really a local emergency to a national matter, with the acting president, the Prime Minister of South Korea, Han Duck-soo, saying that this could be devastation from fires unlike South Korea has ever seen, telling firefighters to prepare for the worst case scenario. So where we're moving in terms of tracking what has happened with that firefighting helicopter that has crashed, there's also, John, a UNESCO World Heritage Site in the town of, or I should say the city, of Andong that is threatened. This is a straw village that is from the 1300s, where scores of families, primary school students, go every single day to learn about Korean heritage. What firefighters are doing right now, they're trying to dampen the landscape, dampen the straw roofs to make sure that if there is an ember that travels a couple of kilometers from the front lines of these fires, and God forbid lands on this UNESCO World Heritage Site, that the worst doesn't happen, that it doesn't go up in flames like that. The good news here that we are looking to in the days ahead, we are expecting a little bit of rain tomorrow, John, across the country, and then temperatures in Celsius to dive down into the single digits, perhaps wintry precipitation on Saturday. But again, this is something that we were fearing another loss of human life with that helicopter crashing. So stand by. We'll be back with more on that, John.
Mike, we appreciate the update. Mike Valerio there live for us in Seoul. That will take a short break. In a moment, the latest in the case of the Oscar-winning Palestinian director who was assaulted by Jewish settlers and detained by Israeli police.
Precise designs, subtle curves, curated upgrades, elevated design for thoughtful living. Thuma.
Stay tuned to get this 5-piece bakeware set, a $60 value, absolutely free. Tired of that pan that always sticks? It's so scratched and worn, you can't cook in it.
Hi, Chef Daniel Green here with my new hammer pans from Gotham Steel. This complete 9-piece set is guaranteed to beautify your kitchen like never before.
Gosh, what I love most about this design is this hammered copper look. It would just look so fantastic hanging in my kitchen.
Wow, this is a beautiful pan. It looks great. Look at those eggs dancing around in there. I tell you, I'm sold. Where do I get these? I love them. Hammered pans are ultra non-stick. Nothing sticks. Even gooey mac and cheese slips out with ease. And look, these sticky candies melted with a torch are no match for hammered pans. Plus, they're super durable, so use metal beaters straight in the pan for a gourmet souffle that slips out and a pan that looks just like new. They're even oven safe up to 500 degrees. So bake homemade chicken pot pie, cheesy lasagna, or this whole chicken dinner. Any recipe looks great in these pans, from steak flambe to delicious desserts and delicate fish. Nothing sticks. Plus, the entire set is dishwasher safe and PFOA free.
Similar sets are over $1,000, but you won't pay that, not $500 or even $300. Get the full 9-piece Gotham Steel hammered set for just 5 payments of $49.99, and we'll even ship it to you free. But order now and we'll drop 1 payment. That's just 4 payments of $49.99, and we'll even guarantee it for a full 10 years. Plus, we'll include this free steamer and strainer, and our 5-piece bakeware set with every pan you'll ever need to make delicious breads, cakes, and desserts. Together, these are an $80 value. Yours 100% free. It's a huge 15-piece set with free shipping. Call or click now.
To order, call 1-800-807-6648 or go to buyhammered.com. That's 1-800-807-6648, or you can order online at buyhammered.com. Did the re-election of Donald Trump play any role in your decision to resign? Why do you need to study it? It sounds like the facts are on your fingertips.
Great question.
There really is much more than race us than that which divides us.
Watch The Lead today on CNN.
Did you use fentanyl after you found out you're pregnant?
Kate Baldwin on the front lines of America's fentanyl crisis.
We keep saving the same people over and over, but until you get them into treatment, you're not changing anything.
The whole story with Anderson Cooper, Sunday on CNN.
What does it mean to be out front? It's going there.
We are about 3 miles from the Gaza border.
It's finding out something unexpected. I relish all of our conversations. It's context. The economy is by far the top issue for Americans in this election. Curiosity. Someone else did to jump in the race. And above all, it's about sharing that so you can be out front too. Let's go out front.
Aaron Burnett out front tonight on CNN.
I'm Mike Valerio across the river from North Korea, and this is CNN.
Where does confidence come from? It's not from within. It must be pursued. Confidence is not a mindset. It's an achievement. In the GMC Sierra HT-AT4X. Get 5.9% APR on GMC Sierra heavy-duty models. That's over $5,300 in average finance savings. See your local GMC.
Oh, chips.
Yep. That looks good.
This looks good.
Very, very good. Or you can kiss me on a Tuesday or two.
Honey, maybe we should get another one.
You want to get 2 more?
Yeah.
It's buy one, get one half off.
Cool.
It's on sale. I can see that. Get 7 days of big deals. It's Target Circle Week. I'm Mrs. Suarez in London, and this is CNN.
Welcome back. You're watching CNN Newsroom. I'm John Hawes. Let's check today's top stories. The White House says Ukraine and Russia have agreed to stop using military force in the Black Sea, as well as to a pause in attacks on energy facilities for 30 days. But the Kremlin has imposed conditions demanding sanctions relief on Russian banks, agriculture, and fertilizer exports. More than 1,400 people have been arrested in Turkey after days of political protests deemed illegal by the government. Many have taken to the streets in outrage after the arrest of Istanbul's mayor, the main political rival to Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Voters in Peru will go to the polls to elect a new president in April next year. President Dina Boluarte announced the election date with hopes of ending years of instability. The president, as well as members of her government, have been accused of crimes against humanity in connection with a number of deaths which occurred in Peru's protest movement in 2022 and 2023. In northern Gaza, what appeared to be the largest anti-Hamas protest since October 7 attacks. Images obtained by CNN show large crowds, possibly the thousands, chanting, "For God's sake, Hamas out," and "We want an end to the war." The protests come after the Gaza Health Ministry announced that death toll since the war began had surpassed 50,000 on Sunday in Gaza, with children accounting for nearly 16,000 deaths. A message shared on social media appeared to call for 9 anti-Hamas demonstrations across Gaza Wednesday. Hamdan Bilal, an Oscar-winning Palestinian director, is now free from Israeli custody and has returned home to his village in the occupied West Bank, where he was attacked by Israeli settlers and detained by the Israeli military, according to witnesses. Bilal is a high-profile victim, but the assault is one of many that Israeli settlers have committed recently against Palestinians in the West Bank. CNN's Al-Bashir tells us exactly what happened.
Jewish peace activists say these pictures show the moment they were attacked by Israeli settlers in the occupied West Bank. CNN has geolocated the videos, which were captured in the area where Oscar-winning director Hamdan Bilal was assaulted on Monday, according to colleagues and eyewitnesses. Bilal's Palestinian co-director, Basil Adra, tells CNN Bilal had called him in distress on Monday, after which he went to visit Bilal's home. When he arrived, Adra says he saw Bilal and at least one other person being taken away by Israeli soldiers. According to Adra, a group of Israeli settlers, some of whom were throwing stones, had gathered outside Bilal's home, as well as Israeli soldiers, who he says were firing at anyone who tried to get close. The Israeli military described the scene as a violent confrontation between Palestinians and Israelis who were throwing rocks at each other. It said the fight broke out after several, quote, terrorists hurled rocks at Israeli citizens, damaging their vehicles. 3 Palestinians and an Israeli were taken in for questioning. Yuval Abraham, an Israeli co-director of the film, who did not witness the incident, said Bilal sustained injuries to his head and abdomen.
So lawmakers in Florida are hoping child labor will fill jobs left vacant by deported undocumented immigrants. Florida's immigration crackdown has left low-wage and many undesirable positions now open. Republican Governor Ron DeSantis backs easing laws which protect children in the workplace. Last year, a new law allowed homeschooled 16-year-olds to work any hour of the day. DeSantis supports a bill moving through the legislature now that would lower that age to 14. When we come back, Pope Francis's doctors say they faced a very difficult decision. Let the pontiff die or double down on his treatment for double pneumonia. New details on what we're learning about the Pope's health in just a moment.
Are you sitting right now? It could be harming your health. From sitting too long, but motion changes everything.
Hey, what's going on? What are you watching? I'm actually not watching anything. I'm doing some gaming. That's what I'm doing. Edging Addict. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm playing some GTA Online. Is it late where you are? Yeah, it's almost midnight. Where are you from, Edging Addict? I'm in the eastern U.S. Oh, cool. So you on the you probably where you at in the East Coast? Cause it's after midnight. Yeah, it's 12:30. Yeah, I'm in the great state of Louisiana. Where are you at? Michigan here. That's not the eastern U.S. That's the Midwest. But I fucks with the mitten the long way though. It's East time zone though. I figured y'all would be Central time zone if anything. But what do I know? I've only gone to Michigan once, and that was for a week. So who am I to question a Michigander? Do you like it here? It was chill. I mean, I came in the summer, so it wasn't winter. Damn. Y'all had a lot of barbecue places, though. Summers are nice here. Yeah, it was fun. I had a lot of fun. Oh well. I'm trying to wait up for my wife to get home, but not sure I'm going to make it. Lol. It be that way sometime. Like, it's the thought that counts. Although you could call your wife while she's on the way home. That may keep you up. Yeah, weird to get out so late on work nights. Is it? Why do you say that? Edging addict. What kind of work does she do?
I'll need your bets now, please. Chips in, please. Great. Bets are now closed. Let's begin. 11. 8.
She's actually a high school secretary and went out with a couple of the guys that teach there for drinks. Oh, well, that's nice. Hopefully they had fun. Why you didn't go with them?
Card? Too many. Bust. All right. 13. House wins. You just need a break is all. Come back soon.
Oh, I'm sure they do. I never get the invite. Oh yeah, why is that? Are you an L7?
How can I help you?
What is that? Wait, what you mean? What is that? What did I say? You asked if I was an L7. What is that? Oh, it means square. It means are you lame? Like L7 square. Oh, haha. No, I only met her 3 years ago, and she had been hanging out with these guys for years before. Oh, okay, so they're like longtime friends. Okay, that's chill. Apparently, there have been some crazy boat parties in the past with them. Oh, really? Oh, wow. What kind of crazy boat stories?
Hey, so I know you've been there already, but Pooh just called said I could come through and get a tour of Dre's studio as a thank you for what we did for him. Lamar crazy ass her, so you know that fool gonna be there too. But it's gonna be cool. We'll do it whenever it's good for you. Man, I'm excited for this. Look, bring a friend if you like. This one gonna hit different, alright? Peace, homie.
A lot of her getting drunk and naked out there. No! Oh my god. Why was they getting naked on a boat? Oh my god. And you were cool with that? Well, that was a lot before I met her, but she was in her 40s at the time. Oh, wow. How old are y'all? I don't like any of these dresses at all. See what Old Navy's hitting on. We're both 50. Oh, wow, you're over the hill. The fuck?
Introducing Ready Rocker.
Let him go, or force it and try with all the drugs and therapies possible. Dr. Alfieri telling Italian newspaper Corriere della Sera the Pope's health deteriorated after a serious breathing crisis, and the pontiff inhaled his own vomit. But
Ew.
Alfieri says it was Francis's personal nurse, to whom the Pope delegated medical decisions, who insisted they not give up and to continue trying all the drugs and therapies. A decision that saved the 88-year-old pontiff's life, but risked damaging his other organs in the process. Alfieri said the pontiff, alert throughout, knew he was facing the end. At one point, holding on to the doctor's hand for comfort, the doctor said the Pope's inner strength helped him get through. With daily updates of Francis's time in the hospital, it was an anxious period for the Vatican, as they only released this one photo of him during his 38 days of treatment. The absence of a hands-on pontiff keenly felt across the church. Francis is a pope who regularly grabs the world's attention. Appearing publicly for the first time on Sunday, the Pope looked frail and is back at his residence in the Vatican. Doctors have ordered him to take 2 months of recovery. He must avoid meeting big groups for risk of further infection. It's unclear whether he will lead or be present at Holy Week and Easter celebrations, the high point of the Christian year. But given what he's been through, the Pope is lucky to be alive. Christopher Lamb, CNN, London.
Not one Vance, but now two. US Vice President J.D. Vance says he'll join his wife, the Second Lady, on her upcoming trip to Greenland on Friday.
There was so much excitement around Usha's visit to Greenland this Friday that I decided that I didn't want her to have all that fun by herself, and so I'm going to join her.
Yay! Vice President Vance claims the leaders of the United States and Denmark have ignored Greenland for far too long. The outgoing Prime Minister of Greenland previously characterized the Second Lady's visit as highly aggressive. Thank you for watching CNN Newsroom. I'm John Voss. Please stay with us. We'll have more CNN Newsroom at the top of the hour. In the meantime, World Sports starts after a short break.
Precise designs, subtle curves, curated upgrades, elevated design for thoughtful living. Duma.
Stay tuned to get this 5-piece bakeware set, a $60 value, absolutely free. Tired of that pan that always sticks? It's so scratched and worn, you can't cook in it.
Hi, Chef Daniel Green here with my new hammered pans from Gotham Steel. This complete 9-piece set is guaranteed to beautify your kitchen like never before.
Gosh, what I love most about this design is this hammered copper look. It would just look so fantastic hanging in my kitchen.
Wow, this is a beautiful pan. It looks great. Look at those eggs dancing around in there. I tell you, I'm sold. Where do I get these? I love them.
Hammered pans are ultra non-stick. Nothing sticks. Even gooey mac and cheese slips out with ease. And look, these sticky candies melted with a torch are no match for hammered pans. Plus, they're super durable. So use metal beaters straight in the pan for a gourmet souffle that slips out and a pan that looks just like new. They're even oven safe up to 500 degrees. So bake homemade chicken pot pie, cheesy lasagna, or this whole chicken dinner. Any recipe looks great in these pans. From steak flambe to delicious desserts and delicate fish, nothing sticks. Plus, the entire set is dishwasher safe and PFOA free.
Similar sets are over $1,000, but you won't pay that, not $500 or even $300. Get the full 9-piece Gotham Steel hammered set for just 5 payments of $49.99, and we'll even ship it to you free. But order now and we'll drop 1 payment. That's just 4 payments of $49.99, and we'll even guarantee it for a full 10 years. Plus, we'll include this free steamer and strainer and our 5-piece bakeware set with every pan you'll ever need to make delicious breads, cakes, and desserts. Together, these are an $80 value. Yours 100% free. That's a huge 15-piece set with free shipping. Call or click now.
To order, call 1-800-807-6648 or go to buyhammered.com. That's 1-800-807-6648, or you can order online at buyhammered.com.
Playmakers are all around Africa. All-star athletes, record breakers, game changers. I'm Larry Madowo, and this is African Voices Playmakers.
Legend Dikembe Mutombo's impact extends beyond the court as a new wave of African talent rises to carry his legacy.
I want to develop chance things in Africa in general, not only Cameroon.
African Voices Playmakers, only on CNN.
This is CNN.
We've heard all the pundits, seen all the hot takes, and read all the headlines. But what's it like to hear from the people actually living the news? I'm Audie Cornish, longtime journalist, and my CNN podcast will break down trending stories, the debates rocking our culture, and talk to the people living the headlines. I've got a lot of questions.
The Assignment with Audie Cornish. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Domino's new stuffed crust pizza. We asked people who said they've had Domino's stuffed crust pizza before to compare it to our new stuffed crust.
Probably better than the one they have currently.
Now the box to your left, that's the Domino's stuffed crust you said you've had before.
What is going on?
Domino's has never made a stuffed crust pizza before.
Are you serious?
Oh, we're serious. It's Domino's first ever stuffed crust pizza. Try it for the first time tonight.
This is phenomenal.
New Degree Whole Body Deodorant for all day odor protection. Degree, it won't let you down.
3, 2, 1.
Let's watch TV.
This is CNN. More people get their news from CNN than any other news source.
Alright, I'm going to bed. It's been fun. It's been real. I will see y'all tomorrow. Happy hump day. See y'all later.